Turn it off. No, we're not doing that.
All right.
Remember what you said about that?
You just made it obvious. Whatever. Anyway,
Yes.
It is Wednesday, January. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow, I'm in the wrong month.
February 2nd.
February 2nd, 2022.
That's already February.
I know,
Like,
it's
Jesus
insane.
Christ.
It is insane. This is Let Us Interrupt You, episode 19.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Olivo.
Michael Smith.
You know the drill. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Mostly recapping the conference championship. We're going to recap this a lot sooner, but our schedule's been so busy as of late.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to do a quick recap for these games. Really what happened over the weekend was a shock, really, to most people. The Bengals coming back from a 18-point deficit, the highest since the 2006 AFC title game, which featured Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield.
How about them Bengals?
Yeah, the Bengals surprised a lot of people. They really did. This is the farthest they've been to since 1988. This is their first Super Bowl, and the last thing they played was against the 49ers and Joe Montana.
In the last couple of years, they were a complete joke. Now they're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You know, and that was a story. And it could have been something last year with Burrow had he not torn his ACL. I mean, that's really, again, congratulations to Burrow. I mean, it was.
Congratulations to the Bengals.
Yeah. I mean, they really shocked the world. I mean, and
that's
really,
another team that's going to be a force to record for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's no question.
Especially since obvious reasons that we'll get to later on.
Right. But anyway, Bengals won in overtime. It took overtime. It took another game-winning field goal by Evan McPherson.
Evan McPherson. That's my new favorite kicker.
It was a 31-yard field goal to end the game.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 52-yard early in the game and a 35-yard early in the game.
That's a Mahomes threw an interception.
But this was really about Mahomes in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you his numbers in the first half of this game. He was 235 yards in the first half.
Yeah, something like that.
Guess how many yards he threw in the second half?
Wasn't it like
55 yards.
Yeah.
9 for 18, 2 interceptions. You want to know why that happened? Because before the end of the first half, you had Tyreek Hill who made that grab. Could have gotten the touchdown, short of the goal line, and they couldn't have a chance to get the field goal because time expired.
Mm-hmm.
He lost himself into that. I don't know what the hell happened. I get you're on cruise control at this point. You're trying to take as much time on the clock. But you got to remember, you got a Cincinnati Bengal team who's unpredictable.
That's been red hot.
They're not the same Bengals as they were for the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see why you would slow down and do cruise control on this. To me, like that's just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just think the whole thing is just retarded. If you're Andy Reid,
yeah.
To me, you let Joe Burrow off the hook. This is a guy who was sacked 10 times the game before against the Tennessee Titans, and that pass rush with Kansas City looked absolutely weak. They looked absolutely pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
They only got to Burrow once in this game. The fact that Cincinnati got to your guy Mahomes 5 times and
in the game before against the Titans, Burrow got sacked 9 times?
He got sacked 9 times against the Titans.
9 times.
9 times. And out of like
in this game, he only got sacked once.
And losing about 65 yards even, really. It's just short of amazing. And to come back and throw for 350 yards in that game. And in this game here, Burrow threw for 250, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. This game at the end of the day, it really comes down to Patrick Mahomes choking when it counts. Mm-hmm. 4 straight conference titles, and now you only get to 1 Super Bowl out of it. That's what resembles your career. Now, people are going to say, "Oh, we got the 2." Yeah, but you only won 1.
You won 1.
You win
Well, he won another one. I believe he will.
He will. This is not going to happen right away now.
Just not now.
I think Burrow's going to start his own little dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Cincinnati.
So it'd be like Burrow, probably Josh Allen.
Yeah. Well, down the road we'll see. I think Mahomes, in my opinion, Mahomes will get to another Super Bowl. He'll probably win one someday. I'm on the cusp right now saying right now he might be pulling an Aaron Rodgers here and only getting to 1 Super Bowl and winning one.
I feel like he'll get more than 1. I feel like he'll win at least 2 or 3.
At this point, it's hard because you got the reality of
he definitely has the talent.
Yeah. But I think in reality,
we also got to make sure that talent stays.
That's the thing. I don't think they're going to.
The problem with the Packers, most of that talent left.
Well, they're going to leave along with Rodgers. So
at first, I remember Rodgers was so pissed that Randall Cobb left the first time.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, he was asking for too much, I think, and that's why he ended up leaving. And look, in reality, he was. Mm-hmm. But he came back a little bit better than his first stint, I think, with the Packers.
Somewhat.
I mean, no, that's that.
He wasn't the number 1 receiver now. Right now, it's Devontae Adams.
Yeah. We're focusing on Kansas City right now and how they absolutely choked in this game. How they were pathetic in this game. how really Mahomes showed little to no effort in that second half. The Chiefs had horrible time management in that second half that would have been a lot better if they actually knew what they were doing in that second half. They actually could have kept on going, put more points on the board, put this game away. You're at home, noisiest stadium in all the NFL, and at the end of the day, the Bengals shushed you guys in the end. It's pretty sad.
The Bengals woke up and said Joe Burrow.
Exactly. They woke up. Another NFC title game. Another title game. The NFC title game, of course. Garoppolo and the 49ers went to LA to face the Rams.
Somehow I knew the Rams were going to win this one, but like this way, both games, I'm like, yeah, the Rams are going to win and the Bengals are going to win. I told you this.
Oh yeah, you did. I was wrong.
And both teams were down at one point, but they came back.
Yeah, that's
insane. Bengals is down by 18. The Rams, I believe, were down by like 10 or 13.
They were down by 10 points.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that that Garoppolo gave this game away.
Yeah. Because he knew he was going to be out of San Francisco.
Yeah. And
next year is the Trey Lance show.
I think honestly it would have been a hell of a story if Garoppolo would have just won one this year and just stuck it to Kyle Shanahan. So like, yeah, I won you guys a Super Bowl one now. You got to kick me out now. Like that would have been.
If he won a Super Bowl, I feel like they would have kept him for at least one more year.
Yeah, it would have been the toughest decision in their lives because it's like, why would you draft this quarterback then? It's like, if this guy really did win as a ring, what was the point of drafting him? You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
And he started the year 3-5 too. No one expected him to get this far.
No, nobody expected him to do anything. Stafford in the game was 31 for 45, 337 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the pick. The 2 touchdowns, one to Cooper Kupp early in the second quarter and late in the fourth. So Cooper Kupp was the man in this game. Yeah, 11 catches for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. He broke a playoff record, I believe, and I think it was for catches, or yards in the playoff game.
Most total yards by a receiver.
Yeah.
Postseason and regular season combined in NFL history.
So good game for Cooper Kupp. Good game for the Rams. The Rams, hell of a story.
But now it's Rams and Bengals in the Super Bowl. I'm kind of torn. I want the Bengals to win, but again, I want the Rams to win.
To me, I'm rooting for the Bengals.
I'm rooting for the Bengals, but like
I always hate the Rams.
You know how much it's gonna suck for Matt Stafford, seeing how much he went through with the Lions.
I mean, yeah, it's true, but
honestly, if he keeps the team together, I say they could probably win it next year.
Yeah, to me, I think he'll be around next
year. But Odell might leave.
No, I don't think Odell's going to leave. I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think Von Miller's going to leave. I don't think anybody's going to leave. If you want my answer,
I think Von Miller's still on the contract for like a few more years. Odell only signed a 1-year deal. Yeah, well, Odell. He might want more money. Look how much.
I think they're going to give it to him.
Look how much they've paid.
If they cut Stafford's contract down and they get Odell more money, because
I feel like Stafford.
He deserves a hell of a lot more money.
Stafford would definitely take a pay cut.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he wouldn't.
Well, Cooper Kupp.
He knows in reality, if it wasn't for Cooper Kupp and Odell right now, Matthew Stafford right now would just be like in the same situation.
Remember, they lost Van Jefferson early in the year because he tore his ACL.
Didn't he play most of the year?
No, wait. Who?
Wait a minute.
No.
Cam Akers.
No.
Cam Akers.
It was Robert Woods, I believe.
Yeah, but he tore late in the year. He was playing early in the year, and he tore his ACL. He's done for the year.
He tore his ACL, and then like a day later they signed Odell.
Yeah.
Was it Jefferson or Woods that guy? I forgot.
Well, Akers tore his Achilles in July. That's the story.
I'm talking about a receiver core for this year.
ACL back in like
mm-hmm.
And then they signed Odell, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks later, I'm pretty sure.
No, it was like a day later.
Or a day later?
No, they signed him like the day Robert tore his ACL.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That makes sense.
But
at the end of the day, the Rams are going to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no other way of justifying the Rams.
Honestly, I'm rooting for the Bengals. I feel like it's going to be a close game.
I think the whole country's rooting for the Bengals to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much hatred the Rams are. Because let's be honest, it's the LA fan base.
They
don't really give a crap about their team. They don't.
There was more 49ers fans at that game than the Rams.
And they just banned, and then they have like a ban for 49ers fans that they couldn't go and like pack up the stadium. They still did.
Bro, half the stadium was packed with 49ers
Exactly.
fans.
Like they were writing all those ticket stories.
Like I'm just saying the Rams should have never moved from St. Louis because like
exactly
right now you got 2 LA teams. What's the point?
Exactly.
No one's going to see the Rams games. No one's going to see the Chargers games. Just move the teams back to where they were.
I disagree. The Charger games are actually a little bit more popular, I think, than the Rams games are. Just a little bit more popular, I think.
Yeah, somewhat, but like it's still 2 LA teams. LA is a big market. They thought they would care, but like now they don't.
Yeah. LA's more of a baseball city or a beach city for girls in their bikinis. That's all it is, really.
But still, they should never move the teams to begin with.
No. The Chargers, maybe.
If anything, they could have expanded and added 2 more teams, maybe.
What? In the NFL?
Instead of moving a team, they add like an LA team.
Well, yeah, they could have created an expansion team.
But then again, where would they put the 34th team at?
30. Wait a minute.
No, I'm saying instead of moving,
right.
they should have just expanded, added 2 more teams.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know why I had a brain fart for a minute. I thought there was only 30 teams in the NFL. It's really the NBA. It's 30 teams.
Yeah.
The NFL 32.
They might add the Supersonics back in the NBA. So
yeah, they could someday.
Mm-hmm.
May never happen. So we got that recap done.
Mm-hmm.
We should talk about the Tom Brady retirement that happened. That supposedly happened on Saturday, but it didn't.
But officially happened
on Tuesday,
yesterday. Yep.
It's been a speculation of what was said in his speech. Why he didn't mention the Patriot fans. And I had a Facebook encounter with my cousin about this yesterday throughout my shift.
I feel it was because of his final stint in New England. It's how many times Bill Belichick actually tried to replace Tom Brady?
The sad thing is, it's he was almost replaced 3 or 4 different times in his stints in New England.
Yeah.
And it's just, something.
First I remember it was with Matt Castle, I believe.
No, I'm talking Matt Castle was never going to start.
No, that was one. Remember the one year that Brady tore his ACL? Matt Castle came in.
He had one good season.
That Pro Bowl year.
And the thing of it is that.
And they were like, oh, what should we do here? And they ultimately decided just to trade Matt Castle, which was the smart decision.
Yeah, but they weren't gonna keep Castle for Brady. That was never gonna happen. And the thing of it was that.
And then again, Brady was 20, I think 30, 20. Well, it was at 2007.
Yeah, so he tore it in 08. So he
was 30, 29.
30, yeah. And it's not like Brady's knee was all messed up. They didn't even think it was torn up that bad. People were looking at it the guy was able to walk up the field gingerly. It's not like he really was and then
I was shocked when that happened. I'm like, yo, it looks like it just got hit. Probably a sore knee.
Castle was never going to replace it. Now they thought of who was it? Garoppolo and
remember one time when they drafted a QB named Kevin O'Connell?
He was just going to be one of those. He was never going to.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like
that was never going to happen. That was never. That was a pipe dream for that guy. He was just having to be part of the team, really, and just be a bench warmer.
Mm-hmm.
And really just be recognized by the fan base. That's all it was. But here's the thing. For all these butthurt Patriot fans out there, why didn't thank your team right away? It doesn't matter when he thanks you. It doesn't matter. He typed up a freaking 1,000-page thing on 9
he's definitely going to thank the Patriots.
He was going to thank the Patriots.
Remember, he said he's going to sign a 1-day contract to retire with the Patriots.
He didn't forget 20 years with you guys and 6 Super Bowl championship wins, and
he'll definitely give a Patriots speech because that's going to be a whole nother thing.
But the problem is these butthurt fans act like, oh, he's a traitor. He left here. He didn't want to be here anymore. Yeah, because he knew the writing on the wall and that nothing was going to change. And he was sick and tired of dealing with it after 7 years of basically being told, oh, we'll get you more talent. Don't worry about it. We just got to cut your contract down. When there was no need to cut his contract in the first place. There was no need to do it for 7 straight freaking years. It didn't make any sense. And that's where it all started back in 2012, really in 2012, honestly, or 2013 when they were cutting Wes Welker out of the thing. That's when this whole thing started. And when or the whole Randy Moss thing. It was more like 7 to 10 years. Let's be honest for ourselves. The guy knew the writing on the wall. And they thought he was all washed up. He should have retired, blah, blah, blah. We'll go with Jarrett Stidham, of all freaking people to go with. Jarrett Stidham. Let's be honest, they wanted to make news. They didn't believe in any of the quarterbacks in free agency the year after Brady left. And they got Cam Newton of all things, which was pre-planned. They all knew it.
Everyone knew that Cam Newton was going to sign that after he left.
They just don't believe in the value of a quarterback.
Because of Kurt Russell, it was just Jarrett Stidham in the morning. I'm like, okay, Jarrett Stidham.
They never believe in the value of a quarterback. They never do. And that's the sad thing because they always looked at him
until now.
They always looked at him as a game manager. Now, granted, his first Super Bowl win, all about game management, all about the defense. Fine. The next 2 Super Bowls he won after that, which was 2 and 3, all him. All on him. Okay? And the next 4 Super Bowls that he won after that, and the next ones that he took you to the Super Bowl, and the next, appearances that you guys got, and conference championship you guys have, all him. He deserved the money. He deserved to play with great freaking talent. He wanted to give those towns an opportunity to play with one of the greats of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about paying everybody equally. It was about getting everybody on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Why he's trying to elevate talent that you're going to cut later on and nobody even knows the names to is beyond me. And that's the point I was trying to prove to my cousin yesterday. If he's listening to this podcast, if he even knows this freaking podcast is on, I doubt he even watches this or even listens to this. He listens to his own brain for guys that say the most stupidest thing on Facebook. But anyway, it's like he's like a butthurt Patriot fan because it's like, oh, he disrespected us by putting it on Twitter. So what? He probably took the whole freaking spiel from Twitter and put it on an Instagram account and linked both of them combined. Who cares? Okay, you'll get your thank you. You'll get your moment. You'll get one day in a random football game when Brady's had a one-day contract. They'll put the jersey up in the stands. He'll throw the little football. He'll probably do it the day when Joe Burrow, after Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl. Because we already know the Bengals are playing in New England next season. We already know it. It's going to be a matter of like, oh, are they going to do it the opening night when the Bengals get their rings and stuff like that? They ship themselves down to New England and they decide, hey, why not? We'll just think that one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time never be in the Super Bowl. And you might be the next future. And it might be a shot at Mac Jones, and it might be a real thing for Joe Burrow. Either or. That's a better matchup anyway. Either that, or if Aaron Rodgers wants to play for the Denver Broncos next year, why not the Broncos play the Bengals in Cincinnati that night? Make it interesting. I don't know. There's a variety of ways of doing this whole Tom Brady retirement thing and spiel thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I hate the idea.
It's just everyone to jump to a conclusion way too quick.
They do. They're unhappy. Oh, I don't know why he didn't thank us. He did. Go back to the other link of the Twitter account of how he said thank you to the Patriots staff. And Kraft was so hurt by the fact that he was butthurt that they didn't thank him right away. He was still a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. The guy just got done playing a grueling football against the Rams. Really, and was pissed off that his Brady clan decided just to source out Schefter and retire so early and peace out. Like I don't blame him at all if he was pissed off about that whole thing because a lot of people were hell. I was the one that talked about Brady's success. I was one that was already under full thinking. Yeah, he just retired. I have a plaque in my room of all the records that he had broken. Every single one of them, every passing yard that he had. Got a big giant plaque in my room. If you got guys that listened to the show last Sunday, where I had the plaque in front of me, I was holding it up in the air. But Tom Brady, as far as I'm concerned, doesn't owe anybody anything. He doesn't. These Patriot fans should be grateful that they had him for 20 years. You know what I'm seeing? A bunch of spoiled brats who think that everybody's going to become the next this or the next that. It's like with the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum, always the next Paul Pierce. Jaylen Brown, always the next Ray Allen. Shut up. They're not ready to win championships. You're putting way too much pressure into it. You're putting way too much investment into these stupid things because you're so spoiled rotten to the core that you're ungrateful that they freaking leave their trainers. You want to know something? I'm glad Brady left because you want to know something? He was never going to win a Super Bowl with these guys at wide receiver. He was never going to win with a washed-up Julian Edelman. He was never going to win a Super Bowl with Matt Mulligan and some other freaking guy I can't even remember his name. That's how bad he was. And N'Keal Harry and Jacoby Myers. It was never, ever, ever, ever going to happen. They got rid of way too much freaking talent at that point. It made no sense for him to stay there. Why bother? He tried for guys like to win a Super Bowl. A guy named Kendrell Dawkins. Remember that guy? That guy sucked.
Kendrell, yeah, I remember him.
I mean, come on.
He had that one good game against New Orleans, and then he was just...
That's it. Yeah. Exactly. Actually, didn't he have a good game against the Bengals, too? 2 good games. Whoop-de-freaking-do. Anything else? We're going to win with that one. Oh, yeah. Remember when they signed Austin Collie to be the... they just signed him out of the blue in the AFC title game against the Broncos. By the way, didn't play football all year that year. Nobody even knew where he was. They didn't even know he was on the team to the day of the game.
Austin Collie.
Okay.
Yeah, way too many concussions.
Exactly. A guy who's concussion prone, should never even came out of retirement in the first place. Didn't know the playbook, but yeah, that made sense. Where you had someone like Wes Welker, where you had someone like Randy Moss that you could have kept around. You could have talked about time not into retiring. There's a variety of things that the Patriots could have done for the last 10 years that benefit Tom Brady. What they do instead? Oh, I don't know. Keep cutting his contract, signing more talent for cheap money, cut their contract, or cut them completely. But that's fine, though. It's fine, though. I get you, Patriot fans. You're all about Bill Belichick. You're so far up his freaking ass that you'd rather just praise that guy for picking Tom Brady. First of all, he didn't even pick him. Okay? In reality, it was just a late, like, oh, it's Tom Brady. We don't even know who he is. We'll just pick him. It's like it came in your lap. It came in your lap. And you want to know something? It turned into freaking gold. You pansies. You freaking pansies. These Patriot fans. And I'm one of them. But I'm not a pansy. I'm a realist. There's a difference. Big difference. And by the way, for all you butthurt Patriot fans that you didn't get social media thank you, maybe you should think about what's going on first. Because it's not about you guys. It's about what the organization did to him on his way out. Didn't help him as much signing a bunch of useless talent that you weren't going to keep. But then not only that you get rid of those contracts and you cut that money out, period, you keep cutting the greatest quarterbacks of all time money down the drain. Really? That's not smart. That's just stupid. Peyton May would never put up with that bullshit. He would have left. Eli May would never put up with that bullshit. He would have left. Big Ben would have never put up with that bullshit. He would have left. Drew Brees would have never put up with that bullshit. He would have left. Rodgers, Mahomes. I can go on and on and on with the list of the quarterbacks in the NFL today that would have never, ever put up with that bullshit. Brady just did it because he loved the game so much. That's the difference. It wasn't about the money. But then when it got to the point where Brady saw the writing on the wall, that they were taking advantage of that out of the guy who was getting his ass kicked. By the way, he tore his MCL in the 2019 year, and he played through it. Don't you think he deserved a little bonus there? I don't know, a little kick me back that he took you guys to the playoffs with a bum knee. Screw you people. For all you whiners out there, you're not really a Tom Brady supporter. You're a Bill Belichick ass kisser, and you're so far up his ass you can taste his butt crack hair. Okay? I'm done with this rant. Done with the rant. Yeah. Done with the ridiculous, oh, I didn't get my thank you. Where? Tom Brady didn't thank us. Why? Shut up. Anyway, you got anything else to say about this right now? Nah. Yes, you're just turning away on your phone.
Tom Brady's a GOAT, plain and simple.
He is. He's the GOAT. 7-time Super Bowl champion, 15-time Pro Bowler, 85,000 yards, 625 passing touchdowns. If you want to include some postseason touchdowns that he had in there, he's got 11. It adds up to 710 of them. There you go. He threw 145 touchdowns in his 20s, and he threw 170 in his 40s. I rest my case. I mean,
he's a GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
He can honestly still play.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's it.
Put him in the Hall of Fame right now.
Exactly.
Even though he's still got.
And you want to know something? Joe Burrow is more on the way right now of becoming that right now than Josh Allen Mahomes. I'm just putting it out there for you. He's got the built for it. He's got the speed of. I think and I mentioned this earlier about Joe Burrow. He kind of runs like Tom Brady. Like if you had to go by, I didn't spill over the place. Yeah. But if you think about the way he moves, he doesn't move that fast. He kind of moves like he's got maybe a little bit more speed than Tom Brady, but
of course he's younger,
right? But not like speed of like a 20-year-old. I'm thinking like a speed of like a mid-30.
I think I've seen Joe Burrow run.
I have. He doesn't really run that fast.
That could be,
but he's got a strong arm, which makes up for it. I think Joe Burrow is the closest thing to the next Tom Brady than any of these guys. Josh Allen, I think, is like a more advanced Big Ben. I would say
Mahomes is Mahomes.
Mahomes is like a more advanced Aaron Rodgers, if not better than Aaron Rodgers. If we're gonna really be honest with ourselves, you get what I'm saying?
Okay, it's probably too soon to say he's better than Aaron Rodgers.
Too soon?
Yeah, it's still too soon.
He's been a 4 conference championship. He's 2-2. Rodgers hasn't won a conference title since his first Super Bowl win, which was like 11 years ago. And he only chokes it when the games count. So, I mean, and
that's a couple more years.
And the guy's 11-10 in the playoffs. So and Mahomes is what? What's Mahomes' record in the playoffs? He's like, this guy have at least 9 wins right now at this point, right?
Yeah, 9 and
9-2, 9-3.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I rest my case. He's better than Rodgers. Period. Anyway, enough about that. We're gonna stick with the NFL. We're gonna talk about Brian Flores and how much of a. I mean, I don't know. Is he done for this? Do you think suing the NFL for this, or do you think he's trying to make a point? Do you think there's ever gonna be a change to this whole thing? Is he gonna help him, or gonna be black?
Oh, they're saying he's suing the NFL for like. Well, probably he said the Dolphins were trying to pay him $100,000 for every single game he would purposely lose. So I don't say why would they? In the NFL, you have to compete.
Yeah,
you can't
exactly. I
mean, there's teams that
I get tanking, but it doesn't help the coaches.
That doesn't help. Yeah, it doesn't help them. It doesn't help the players.
It doesn't even help the team. It doesn't even have the realization of why would a team want to play for a team who lost. Like you're desperate. It makes you look desperate. Tanking looks. I've said about tanking now for years.
And sometimes tanking doesn't even help.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, you can get like the best player in the draft, but like, well, if that player doesn't work out, and that's happened a lot. So.
Yeah, exactly. In my opinion, I think this is going to hurt Brian Flores, and if he actually goes through with this, it's going to make.
I understand why he's doing it, but he's also risking like a head coaching gig or any coaching gig.
I think this will actually make the NFL coaches change and add more diversity with the coaches, I guess maybe. Mm-hmm. But he's going to it means it's not going to get him a job. It's going to get the other ones a job, I think, probably, because they know this.
Well, he probably get a coaching job maybe in college, maybe. He'll get a coaching job in college. I don't know.
That's even harder then because then you got to worry about college university being sued by him. I mean, it's a variety of things right now.
Well, college is way different. How the hell can you tank in college? If you tank in college, that hurts your recruiting process.
I'm not talking about tanking. What I'm saying is I'm talking about in the attitude of like, okay, if we hire this guy and we try to fire him and he's going to try to sue the school.
For what?
For being fired. There's two ways of looking at this. I'm looking at it from a perspective where he could get blackballed.
He didn't sue them just because he got fired. He sued them because of previous things. He mentioned the Dolphins, the Giants,
and the Broncos.
The Broncos.
I guess supposedly
because he said those other teams hired a coach already before they interviewed him.
The Broncos one was the fact that John Elway and his executive crew showed up drunk. Or hungover, supposedly, because I guess they were drunk. I think Elway was drunk the night before. And the executive crew not only showed up hungover, unprofessional, and just flat out rude, but they were apparently 35, 40 minutes late for the interview. And they kept Flores waiting. So that hurts the Broncos executives. They might lose their jobs over this. Elway might have to step down now as the CEO of the Broncos now at this point, which hurts him. The Giants, the only reason why that happened because of what happened with really the fact right now that I guess apparently Flores got a I don't know.
He got a text from Bill Belichick saying
text from Bill Belichick. Yeah, thank you.
They hired
Dabbol, which Dabbol, yes, we'll get more into that. Got the job. Sorry for Flores, but in reality, I didn't think Flores was the right fit because if Watson really wanted to play in New York, they had to build talent around him. I don't think they have enough talent there anyway that would have never really worked out. And to me, it really comes down.
That's real. Brian Flores is a good coach. He's definitely a good coach.
It depends on how much control he would have had in that organization anyway. And I think, honestly, that's the thing. I think Flores would be better off in Minnesota. But now the problem is that this lawsuit kind of hurts his chances now because he had a better chance at that job anyway than he had in the Giants, I think, because it would have made a lot more sense.
No, it's probably rumor that John Harbaugh might go to Minnesota.
Yeah, but in this case here for Harbaugh. Look, I mean, not Harbaugh, sorry, Flores. The lawsuit, I think, honestly, is going to hurt this guy. No matter if he tries to coach in college or coach in the NFL. Look what happened to Colin Kaepernick with the whole kneeling down for the thing. Has he played in the NFL since that happened? Has he been cut? No. So this is the exact same issue they're going to
Can he probably still play? Probably.
Yeah. But I think the difference now is that I think there'll be more coaches now in the NFL now because the NFL is going to –
Right now, Brian Flores might get blackballed.
He's going to get blackballed, but the rest of the NFL coaches are going to get their jobs. These black coaches are going to get their jobs. BNB's going to get his job at some point. I think BNB might be down in Kansas City.
So in a way, it would be kind of like a racial discrimination.
It is.
Blackball. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It would be the racial discrimination. There's no question about it. But I think to call and he's got evidence now at this point.
He's got a lot of evidence.
Yeah. Even the fact that Stephen Ross tried to get Flores to recruit Tom Brady. Like that to me, first of all, that would have never happened. He would have never gone to the Miami Dolphins. As good as the Dolphins were at the time and had the talent,
they would not have gone Tom Brady.
It would have been no shot. There was no shot of that happening. But I think as far as the whole thing goes right now, it's like there's a lot of issues here. Like Flores is.
I'll say everyone's gonna get hurt in this,
including
but Brian Flores might be hurt the worst.
Oh, definitely a lot worse.
A lot worse than everything else.
Yeah, pretty sad. Pretty sad thing to hear. But anyway, yes, Josh McDaniels is now the head coach for the Raiders. We had mentioned we got shift right. We're staying with the NFL stuff.
You think that's a good fit?
Oh, I think it is. I think it is. I think at the end of the day, it depends of like what they do at quarterback. I think Derek Carr's gonna be on the move. I think it's gonna be a matter of like where he goes. I think in reality, Russell Wilson's name might be called because I think Russell Wilson was a deadlock to get traded to New Orleans if Sean Payton would have stayed.
Mm-hmm.
But since McDaniels now has a job down in Las Vegas, and I think Russell Wilson wants to go for a place that has a lot more talent and a better coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And Rich Pasella, you never know. I mean, that would have been a good story if he would have stayed for the job. He'll find his job. He'll get on his feet. His name will be forgotten. You know, I mean, he took a team first, an interim head coach, and take a team to the playoffs. I mean, no one's going to forget that. But for McDaniels, as far as getting the connection goes and connecting with people, I think he's done that now, you know, and back in his second step in New England. Now he's finally learned from that because he's even said when he was coaching for the Broncos that he didn't know how to communicate with people. He flat out said it. Here, he can do it in Las Vegas. It's a tough venue because it's very distracting in Las Vegas, very exotic place to go to. I mean, look what's happened to the Raiders so far. Despite all the distractions, they've found a way to make it to the playoffs. The Henry Ruggs third situation with the car accident, that's a big distraction. Arnett with the gun thing, that was a big distraction. McDaniels now, if he thinks now with this stint here as a second head coach, back in the AFC West, by the way, because he was coaching the Broncos before. Mm-hmm. In this case here, if he thinks he can, you know, put all those distractions aside and try to help this team out to a winning formula, great. But he's going to need a winning quarterback. I think Derek Carr had a miracle year, magical run, contract earned type of feel kind of year. Mm-hmm. He knew his money's on the line. He knows his job's on the line. He knows he had to prove everybody wrong, and he kind of did, but he didn't win a playoff game out of it. Mm-hmm. But I think here with Derek Carr getting moved, you get Russell Wilson, you keep Zay Jones, you sign up. I think Davante Adams is leaving Green Bay, and he definitely the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that's coming. I don't think him going to Denver will help. Because A, there won't be any room for the cap because of Rodgers' contract and the fact that you got all these talent in there with big contracts. So that's not going to help.
Who do the Broncos have a big contract right now?
Well, Rodgers would be coming in with getting like 50, 60 million. So you figure at that point, Adams is going to want a lot more money than that. Broncos are asking price is not going to be enough to even match it. And I look at it based off of the fact right now of how cheap Elway can be sometimes.
Yeah.
So I go by that factor, and plus the Raiders, who just cleared John Gruden's $100 million contract dispute for 10 years. They've been paying that crap for years. Mm-hmm. They got rid of that crap once and for all. You give that money to Davante Adams, he plays for the Las Vegas Raiders. You got Zay Jones there, Ray, Darren Waller, with Russell Wilson as your quarterback, and McDaniels as your head coach. Great chemistry. I think that these two would have.
That's a good
and
team.
He knows the history of that guy because he's played against him before. Mm-hmm. I mean, it works out in their favor. I think it does. Now, I know people aren't liking that decision. There's some players that spoke out the other day and saying they didn't like the decision of having being there.
Yeah.
But I think I think once they realize of what he can do to that team, because he can turn that team around, I think. Mm-hmm. I think you bring in Russell Wilson in that division, it'll be a lot talked about. That'll be a hot division. And if Aaron Rodgers wants to go to Denver with Nathaniel Hackett, who was a head coach now for the Broncos, let's see what happens.
That'll be a tough division.
That'll be an awesome division. It'll be a great thing to watch every Sunday. I'll be rooting for Denver at this point. I never thought I'd be rooting for Denver. I'm not really a Raider fan either way. I'll root for McDaniels too. Why not? Mm-hmm. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I'd rather root for Rodgers. I can't stand the Mahomes clan anymore. I can't stand his brother. I can't stand the fiance, although the fiance's hot.
Yeah, she is.
But she's
annoying.
She's a piece of work. The brother's a piece of work. Mm-hmm. You know, he reminds me of Eminem. Really, only Eminem's more likable, more relatable. I think he can be easily tolerated. Mm-hmm. Jackson Mahomes, I can't stand the guy. I'm sorry, too big of an ego, and he reminds me of some creepy dude I don't like. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, McDaniels is a new head coach. You also got Brian Dabbol, not Brian Flores, unfortunately, but Dabbol. Dabble's a much better candidate, I think, for the job. Better fit, more comfortable, less controversy. Mm-hmm. You know, you just got off of making the Buffalo Bills almost going to the AFC title game. You went head-to-head with the Kansas City Chiefs. That team's been tough every year. They just went to the AFC title game not too long ago before that past season for them. So, I mean, there's a lot there on the table. There's a lot for future's bright for that guy. I think they'll draft a quarterback. I don't think they're going to get a quarterback veteran-wise this side. I just can't see that happening. Yeah. I can see Sam Howell, the guy from North Carolina, going there.
I don't know.
Taking a job for Daniel Jones. I can see him transferring him around. Sam Howell is, if I had to think of what Sam Howell reminds me of, he reminds me of a young, I'm just trying to think here. I'm trying to think of a Matt Schaub. when Matt Shaw was trying to find himself in Houston.
When Matt Shaw was on his prime.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think of when I think of him. And I think Brian Daboll could turn him around and make him something good. Make him a good story. You know, is he going to take the Giants to the playoffs next year? I don't know. But they'll be winning. That's what I know. I don't know they'll be winning with Flores. You know, I just don't think he would have had a connection there. I just think it would have happened.
Only time will tell.
But I think Flores, if he continues his lawsuit, though, is one thing, though.
It's going to hurt him.
It's going to hurt him. It's going to make his chances even suck even more. Because I think Flores would have been a perfect condition for the Vikings. Because that way he would have gotten Watson to trade from Houston to Minnesota. And Minnesota could have gotten Kirk Cousins out of the deal. So that's my opinion.
You mean Houston could have got Kirk Cousins out of the deal?
What did I just say?
You said Minnesota could have got Kirk Cousins.
Okay. So Minnesota could have gotten Minnesota could have gotten Deshaun Watson. And Kirk Cousins would have gone to Houston. So even trade, in my opinion. That would have worked out in their favor. And yes, so Harbaugh could be the next head coach. We report right now that he is in Minnesota doing the interview, I think either today or tomorrow. But yeah, I think Harbaugh now has got a better shot now than he did before to get a job. And I honestly am hoping that it does happen because Flores is just only hurting himself in this lawsuit. I'd say if you really wanted to sue somebody, sue the Giants. I mean, not the Giants. Sue the Dolphins.
Sue the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are a stupid franchise. They're the reason why you got fired in the first place. They're the reason why they kissed Tua's ass, and Tua sucks, and they know it. They just don't want to look. They just want to do 1 year of him starting, and then have to start all over again, drafting another quarterback. I get it. You're trying to redeem yourself. You had a winning season the year before, and you had a winning season this past year. It's because of Brian Flores, not because of freaking Tua. Tua's not the reason why you won most of these games. You won most of the games because you had a great defense who was underrated for 2 straight years. 2 straight years you had the number 1 defense the year before. And then this past year, I believe you were like, what, 5th or 6th, I think, in the league in defense? So, and you got an owner who never liked you, who has Tua so far up his ass and so far the GM's ass. It's pathetic. I know you're trying to get in good with your bosses. I get it. You're trying to keep your job. I get it. There's a lot of rumors about Deshaun Watson. I get it. But Brian Flores should go after the Miami Dolphins. They're more of the brunt of the lawsuit. Denver, look, John Elway being drunk, it's bad on his part. If he steps down as CEO, I think it helps the team out a lot more. As painful as that sounds to say for all you Denver Broncos fans who love John Elway, he's going to have to step down if this is all true.
I mean, the team hasn't really been good since he started this. So.
What he is, a CEO?
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been good since Peyton Manning left him. And he's suffering at the end of the year. So, there you go. Enough about that. We got to get into some transfer portal talks. Caleb Williams is now a USC Trojan. That's right.
I mean, we all knew he was going to transfer there.
We all knew it. We all had a pretty good idea. We had a pretty good feeling of why he,
The transfer portal is insane because, like, right now, everyone's transferring. Even the good players that had great seasons are transferring.
Yeah. So,
before the transfer portal was only for, like, guys who, like, won a bigger opportunity or who sucked the previous year.
I mean, now if you're Oklahoma, you lost 2 good quarterbacks. Well, I should say 1 good quarterback and 1 guy who wants to be a quarterback. Anyway.
Shotterell is good.
He's a wide receiver. Okay, he's gonna be a wide receiver in the NFL. He'll never be a quarterback.
You're on crack. Anyways,
okay.
Let's go.
Back to Caleb Williams. Now USC Trojan. Is it gonna work in USC? I don't know. It's so hard to predict that Pac-12 right now, but I'm not sure if Oregon's for real. I don't know if they're for real. Because I just found out they're playing Georgia on opening night in the college football schedule, which was released actually last week. Not gonna get through every single game, but I will give you one of the big time games. That game will be in I think the Mercedes-Benz Dome for Atlanta. That game will be in. I know Alabama's playing Texas September 10th, and BYU will be playing our name, but in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the new Allegiant Stadium. And I keep calling it new, even though it's like 2 years old at this point. But that's a good game to watch. But what does it got to do with Caleb Williams? Well, here's my point. Caleb Williams is money. He's money for USC. He'll be great for USC. Will he win the Pac-12 title? Who knows? USC has one. They're funky. Every time they get great talent, they always find a way to choke. That seems to be the common theme with USC. They always find a way to choke when it counts the most. The farthest they went to was a national title game back in the 05-06 season. And that was when Vince Young walked it off.
I also remember the history of USC QBs going pro.
Yeah, exactly.
Not good at all.
Hasn't really worked out for them. Although Mark Sanchez was close to succession to him.
He was close, but then he ultimately flopped.
He flopped because no one could escape the fact that he ran into someone else's butt crack. I mean, that's really what happened. If he didn't run into that Woodley guy's butt crack in that Thanksgiving against the Patriots, that would have never happened. Sanchez, you want to know something? He wasn't even that efficient. Here's the problem.
Every single one of his seasons, he threw double-digit interceptions. That's not good.
Well, it's hard.
I think the least amount of interceptions he threw in the season was like 12 or 15. Look up his career stats real quick.
Don't look up his stats.
I will.
But I'm going to tell you this right now about Mark Sanchez. He was not bad as people trail out to be. When you take a team,
he wasn't that bad, but he wasn't.
When you take a team
good.
to 2 straight AFC Championship games, in my opinion,
his first year and his second year.
Yeah. The next year they go 8-8. He didn't have a losing season. The following year he was basically replaced by Tim Tebow.
Yeah, the least amount of interceptions he threw.
And they didn't lose his confidence. And he had an owner who could have cared less. He just loved Tim Tebow, loved making money off his jerseys because he found out that his Sanchez jerseys weren't making as enough money as Tebow was. I'm
only looking through his Jet stats for his career as a Jet. The least amount of interceptions he threw in the season was 13.
13, what year was that?
His second year in 2010. His first year, he threw 20, second 13, and his last two with the Jets, 2011, 2012, he threw 18 each.
Okay. So
that's not good.
So he had rough seasons. Okay, granted.
But he only had one good year, and that was 2010. And they were 11-5.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. But he would improve over time. The problem is I think he was rushed. The rest of the USC Trojan quarterback list, you could say, yeah, it didn't really work out. Fine, whatever. I think wasn't Carson Palmer a USC quarterback? I'm pretty sure because he got drafted in November.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, okay, he had a pretty good.
He was the last good one.
Yeah.
All the other ones, Matt Leinart.
Matt Leinart sucked. Okay.
Matt Leinart sucked.
He was trash. Mark Sanchez was
Honestly, maybe Matt Leinart could have gotten a chance, but like Kurt Warner was there.
Yeah, you can't compete against Kurt Warner.
Couldn't compete against Kurt Warner.
You can't even do anything against Kurt Warner.
They're like, all right, we're gonna bring Kurt Warner. You're gonna start, sit you for a couple of years. Nope, Kurt Warner took him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. And Matt Leinart is right now on Fox Sports right now doing pregame on college football games. So there you go. At least he's commentating analysis.
He's a good commentator.
He is. He's good. In my opinion, here, I think Mark Sanchez was rough. I will admit that, but he was good. I think he lost his confidence though once the whole run into someone else's butt crack in the middle of a Thanksgiving game, and then basically,
honestly, Mark Sanchez wasn't good to begin with.
He
just got lucky his first 2 years.
I wouldn't call that luck. I wouldn't call it 2 years making the AFC title game luck, especially when you win 1 year playoff games. You beat Peyton Manning and Tom
First
Brady
2 years of luck. Then his last 2, he was just complete and utter trash.
I don't know. You're hurting my boy the wrong way. And half the time he won't even start every game. You talk about a guy right now.
He's thrown more interceptions and touchdowns in his entire career.
Okay.
That's not good.
He had a shortened career that wasn't really thought out well. Wasn't really targeted. He wasn't really the main piece. He was either.
What do you mean he's not the main piece?
He was hot or cold. That's basically what it was.
He was the QB of the New York Jets.
Yeah.
All the talk's gonna go to you. Especially with that New York media.
Yeah. But I don't think the New York media had anything to do with it. I think the fact of the matter is that you had an owner.
He wasn't that good.
You had an owner who distracted him because he knew he wanted his coach fired. And he wanted him fired so many different times. He was obsessed with Tim Tebow like no tomorrow. He loved Tim Tebow like he was his son. It was weird. And it got to a point where it's like this guy was more of a distraction in Sanchez's time in New York. And really, he was just either a backup or a starter for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, honestly, I forgot Tim Tebow was on the Jets. I honestly forgot about that.
I didn't forget about that. I didn't forget about how much that owner was so desperate to make money off of his freaking jersey sales. How pathetic. And the reality of it is, all he was either a special teams quarterback, blocker,
or a wildcat guy.
Or a wildcat guy. He didn't do anything that great. He would have been better off staying in freaking Denver because he was actually better there.
Tim Tebow would have been better off just switching positions when he came in.
He would have been better off being a commentator, let's be honest. Like Greg McElroy is right now. Anyway, I just love that. I keep thinking about when I think of the name right now, when he interviewed Kayvon, like we talked about that interview a couple weeks
ago. The Kayvon.
Yeah.
That's
all I could think of now.
That was so stupid.
Dumb interview. But yeah, back to Caleb Williams. He is the future of that USC Trojan team.
Mm-hmm. Future NFL?
I think so. I think he's got the.
It depends on the team. And the system.
Yeah, that's true. And the coaching.
So the main thing with QBs, they have to be in the right system or to succeed.
Yeah. That is a story. I think Caleb Williams will be a great addition. That'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll see what he does down the road for USC. Do I expect the Pac-12 title in his first year?
Probably not.
I think you never know.
Maybe not.
Lincoln Riley can figure out a way. Lincoln Riley is a winner. That's the thing. It's
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think Lincoln Riley should be NFL ready because you know what? Someday it could be.
Someday he's gonna get head coach again in the NFL.
Yeah, he should be ready.
I say within the next 3 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams will be drafted in his junior year in college. So there you go. Anyway, so I think we just got through that. We got through. Is there anything else we need to talk about here, though? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Bruins stuff.
Oh yeah, apparently Texas A&M officially has the best recruiting class in history this year.
Oh, you need to talk about that? Oh, go ahead.
I don't want to talk about it. Just it's something that popped up.
Just popped it up in your head because I just said Boston Bruins. Oh, Texas.
Yeah, they got the best recruiting class in history. Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah.
Insane.
Even though Alabama has been recruiting so much talent for years. But
yeah. Ow.
I don't know how Texas is better, but whatever.
Because football is big in Texas.
It is big in Texas. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm big in Texas. Yeah.
You've never been to Texas. There you go.
I love Texas.
I love it too. I'll go there someday.
Me too.
So we'll talk about the Boston Bruins. They had a win last night over the Seattle Kraken.
Texas.
Pasternak had 2 goals last night. One was a power play goal. 1 goal was scored by Taylor Hall last night. The story is, though, the Bruins have got a pretty good schedule. I don't know what you're doing. Anyway, so Bruins have got a pretty tough.
Talk about your hockey.
I wouldn't say tough schedule, but they got a pretty, injury schedule coming up now in the next few days. We'll give you the schedule right now before their little all-star break slash Olympic break. Mm-hmm. They are playing. Well, I'm not even sure. Oh, that's right. Hockey's not even doing a lot of stuff in the Olympics. Never mind. Yeah. But let me give you the rest of the schedule. So they play the Pittsburgh Penguins next week. They have a 7-day layoff. They play the Hurricanes at home, at Ottawa, at New York Rangers, facing up against the New York Islanders, the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. The Colorado Avalanche come to town. This is where the Avalanche actually last played them. They played at home against the Bruins, and they beat them. Mm-hmm. So will Avalanche get the season sweep on them? Probably. Who knows? They're playing at the Seattle Kraken one more time, and they play the San Jose Sharks and the LA Kings. That's the month of February. So that's that. I will say this about the Bruins last night. I thought they were pretty good. Now, why they had a close game with one of the crappiest teams in hockey right now with the Seattle Kraken, again, I have no idea why. Ullman was kind of like on his game. He had a pretty good, nice save percentage last night. It was good. It was good for the Bruins for a little bit. But I will say this about the Bruins after last night. They're not a Stanley Cup contender. They're not a deep playoff run contender. As a matter of fact, they're right now, I would say right now, they're there for the picking. Right now, they're going to get picked on by so many teams in this playoff run. I think it's going to be hard for them to even compete with them. Now, I think second round is going to be their limit here. I think Tuukka Rask is done as a Boston Bruin as far as I'm concerned. I don't think they're starting this guy. I mean, you notice it now at this point since that press conference that Bruce Cassidy had the other day that they haven't really played Rask a lot. They've been playing mostly Ullman, which has been surprising because I'm thinking to myself they should be playing more Swayman. But Ullman has been getting – and even when they pulled Swayman, I thought it was surprising because even that loss to the Dallas Stars when it was 6-1, when they got absolutely killed last weekend, I thought that was strange because I'm thinking to myself, why are they pulling out Swayman and putting Ullman in there and allowing him to get 5 goals? And now putting this guy back in the next time. That I didn't understand. I don't know if Rask is hurt. I don't know what the story with Tuukka Rask is right now. If he wants to be a backup right now, if he thinks he's a better chance right now to help the Bruins out by winning a Stanley Cup by doing absolutely nothing. If that's what ends up happening, if this Boston Bruins team somehow wins Stanley Cup, you want to know what my honest opinion is? That's bad. That's really bad for a goalie who's supposed to be this clutch goalie who has a save percentage of 96.7 during the regular season in almost the last 7 seasons. And then when you go into the postseason, you're like 98.9% save percentage. Now you want to do it from the bench? You want to mentor these guys now? Now you want to be a mentor now? That's what it is now. If that's the case, then why are you holding this team up for money? Why are you not taking a pay cut? Why are you even back? Is the question. Why are you even here? Why do these guys don't need mentoring. They don't. They're here for your spot, and they just took it from you. They just took it like nothing. Rask, in my opinion, who I think is one of the clutch goalies there is in hockey right now today, and it's talked about so much for his game. You know he's been so far? benched. He's been benched and literally ignored. Because Cassidy at this point I think is starting to realize now his bullshit. And his whole thing of it is right now, the fan base just loves the guy because he can relate to the millennial people out there who do absolutely nothing anyways, which is my generation. My generation does not that great. They do a lot of nothing. Tuukka Rask right now is one of these guys who is just back there simping the Bruins. That's all it is. That's all it's going to be. Bruce Cassidy realizes it now. And I think, honestly, if you're Tuukka Rask right now, you're unhappy about it because you're not getting any playing time. So far, you're getting benched by a guy who, let's be honest, last night I thought was good against a Kraken team, but to only win by 1 goal against a Seattle Kraken? Really? A team that's not that great to begin with, an expansion team that sucks? And I think it's a failed expansion so far in Seattle because nobody cares in Seattle unless you're throwing a dead fish in the crowd. Like, let's be honest, that's their gimmick right now. That's a new gimmick now for hockey now. Oh, we want to get people entertained. We'll throw dead fucking sushi, excuse my language, in the crowd. That's going to get a lot of hockey fans to go there. I really want to go to Seattle now just to catch a dead fish. I can catch a dead fish anyway. I can go out and fish out in the narrow river over here in Rhode Island and catch a fish. Or I can go fish out in my backyard over here where there's a little beach in my backyard.
Oh, yeah, I got to go fish too.
I mean, exactly. You know, like, this is stupid.
Where are your fishing pools?
I don't have any fishing pools. I don't fish for real. Sit down.
Go get some.
Why am I gonna go fishing?
Awesome fish.
Where are you going? Anyway, but with that in mind, I know people are telling me right now, like are saying to me right now, like, oh, because I've been getting a lot of grief right now about my Stanley Cup prediction because I predicted a Edmonton Oiler, Pittsburgh Penguin Stanley Cup Final, and I gotta say, I'm not feeling the Oilers anymore right now at this point. As a matter of fact, they're starting to fade away now. It's been like 3 or 4 years with Connor McDavid trying to win this team a cup. It's just not going to happen there. McDavid might have to move, go to a different team. But I will say this, I do have a Stanley Cup Final prediction. And my prediction is this. The hottest team right now in hockey right now is the Colorado Avalanche. They have the best record right now in hockey. They do. No one can touch them. They played 44 games so far. They're 32-8-2, 32-8-4. They've scored 68. They have the most points right now in hockey now with 68. Even though they just lost last night to the Phoenix Coyotes last night in a shootout, 3-2, which that's a fluke loss. Okay, that's one bad loss. It's not going to derail their season. They're not exposed by a team like Arizona whose record's 11-29-4. Okay, it's just that. They're not exposed. But I will say this. If I had to give my Stanley Cup prediction right now so far for this season, I'm going to tell you this right now. I know a lot of Boston fans are going to hate this, but here it is. It's going to be the Colorado Avalanche and the New York Rangers. I think the New York Rangers are actually a pretty good team. They're fourth right now in the Eastern Conference standings right now in hockey. They've had underrated goaltending right now, I think, and the guy named Shishkin. I can't even say the name. I can't. It's one of those Russian last name or German last names. I don't know, but you get my point. The Colorado Avalanche are a dominant team. They're a dominant force. You got the underrated goaltending right now, the New York Rangers. I think they might make something happen against the Colorado Avalanche. They're an aggressive team. They can switch the light on and off anytime they really want to when it comes to playing hockey. They're a good team. In my opinion, the Avalanche might get the upset. Even though they're the best team in hockey, I think the New York Rangers, with their underrated goaltending, will beat the Colorado Avalanche and take the cup in Colorado. Yes, they will win it in Colorado. And spite those Colorado Avalanche fans out there, I've seen it so many times now with Stanley Cup teams winning it on the road. It's ridiculous. They're going to do it again. It's going to happen again. The underrated goaltending is going to be overlooked here. Colorado's going to be so favored in this one. It'll be probably the biggest upset in hockey in probably the last 10 or 15 years. I'm just going to put it out there. The New York Rangers got a better shot of doing it. I think right now, out of the Eastern Conference right now, I'm not a strong believer now in the Lightning just because they got rid of so much of the talent, even though they've been hot lately. And so it's the Florida Panthers. They're kind of a flawed team. Whatever the magic the Tampa Bay Lightning had is all gone. It's all washed up, I think. And it's not going to be able to recover. They had a chance of a dynasty. They had a chance to keep all their talent around. They got rid of most of their talent early in the year. To me, that's dumb. And right now, yes, you're hot in hockey right now because right now the rest of the East right now is no one's really talking about it as much. Keep this in mind. New York right now being fourth right now, it gives them the easiest spot right now to do some magical stuff in the wild card game, the second rounder, and then the final round. That's it. That's the way you gotta look at it. To me, it works out in their favor. I think it's great news to hear. We'll see what happens now going forward with that one. But my Stanley Cup prediction is the New York Rangers taking on the Colorado Avalanche with the New York Rangers winning. So we'll see what happens now going forward. Very interesting. And I just got a call right now, so I got to take this call real quick.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hockey.
Yeah.
I'm not a big hockey fan, but I don't know.
I'm doing good.
He's doing real good. Yeah, we covered Tom Brady. We covered football. We covered hockey. I don't know. On the comedic purpose of this podcast. I want to say one thing, though. Mostly that we do sports, but we're going to mix it up here and there. One day we're probably going to talk about, relationships. Next day we're going to probably talk about buildings. I don't know. We're going to start flexing around with this podcast soon. Like and subscribe. But yeah, back to actually the Texas A&M having the number one recruiting class ever. It's pretty insane. You think Bama, the powerhouse they are, they would have all these recruits wanting to come, yada, yada, yada. But the one thing about Alabama, they want everyone. And that's the problem. They want everyone. So some high school athletes who see this like, okay, they're the best school. They got the best chance for me to get to the NFL. But would I play there? Would I get a chance to play there? Like, say, for example, if they bring 2 5-star, highly touted quarterbacks, only one of them is going to play. Bring in, or they might flex them. I don't know. There's a lot of colleges that run like a 2 QB system. Say if they bring in 2 5-star cornerbacks, they're obviously going to get the chance because, like, cornerback depth is high. Oh, let me also talk about something else real quick. WWE, the 2022 Royal Rumble. I'll be honest. It was the absolute worst Rumble pay-per-view event I ever saw in my life. And I say it's the worst because everything was so predictable. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Obviously, Roman Reigns was going to keep the title because we have this feud between him and Lesnar. Lashley versus Lesnar for the WWE title. Roman costing him. That was pretty obvious. Paul Heyman signed for Roman Reigns. That was pretty. Well, actually, that was the only shock value there. We got Doudrop and Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title. Becky Lynch was retaining. We know damn well Doudrop probably ain't going to win the Raw Women's title yet. She might win it one day, but as of right now, Becky Lynch has got a stranglehold on that. The only surprising part about the Rumble was Ronda Rousey returning and winning. That was honestly the highlight of the show. Oh, and also too, Mickie James entering the Royal Rumble with the Impact Knockouts title. History in the making right there. And then the men's Royal Rumble match. Lackluster, I say. Because, like, the only surprise entrant was Bad Bunny. Everything else was just plain. Shane McMahon came back, but honestly today they fired him. Because he booked the Rumble match to favor himself. And originally, Matt Riddle was supposed to run a Rumble. Oh, I'm back. But they changed that. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the Rumble review?
Yeah.
Shane McMahon got his little thing there.
Yeah, and he got fired today.
Yeah, he got fired. He was let out quietly. That wasn't surprising. And to me,
how was it called let out quietly if it's all over the news? That makes no sense.
Well, no, but like what happened was that nobody really knew about it. Nobody even knew he was going to even be in the Rumble in the first place.
Yeah. No, he was one of the people to help book the Rumble.
Yeah, there were several superstars who were disgruntled by this whole situation. And the thing of it was nobody even knew who was winning the Rumble.
Because originally Matt Riddle was supposed to win.
Yeah, But then
And they should have went with that.
And they changed it later on because Brock was going to lose a title, and Brock wants to face Roman in the main event at WrestleMania.
He could have faced Roman without even winning the Rumble.
He could have, true, but he's a free agent. But at the same time, look, it's a
and the fact that Brock Lesnar is also in the WWE title elimination chamber match. If he wins that, I'm done.
Here's the reason why they're doing this in storyline, because the brand split thing is a complete waste of time. So
no, it's not.
It is.
It brings more opportunity. So what? Rather have two separate titles.
Well, think about
everyone chasing
what
it.
opportunity is it bringing if most of the talent's getting cut? And think about this for a minute at this point, what this does for Brock.
Well, that's WWE because they're freaking cheapskates now.
He ends the tribal chief run. He unifies the belts. And he can defend it.
Honestly, right now, I don't have a problem with Brock Lesnar because, like, the more you watch him, the more you appreciate him and everything he's done. I just hate the fact that he's still a part-timer. Why have a part-timer come in and take away opportunities from all the other guys?
And here's the thing. Randy Orton right now at this point.
Oh, heck, Randy Orton should have won the Rumble.
Here's the reason why. Well, I don't know. I don't know if they really wanted a third time winner.
Now, Stone Cold won it 3 times.
Now, granted, it was in his hometown. That would have been the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like they wanted a newcomer to win. Fine, I get it.
Matt Riddle.
It builds up to a Riddle versus Randy Orton match for the WWE title at that point. But here's the problem with the whole thing. You just had Lashley win the belt. Why would he then transition to having Randy Orton beat him? I don't get that logic.
I mean, Randy Orton's not even in the chamber. Right now in the chamber, it's Austin Theory.
Let's just say hypothetically, Riddle did win the Rumble. Why would Lashley agree to drop the belt to Orton to have an Orton-Riddle match at WrestleMania?
I think originally it was supposed to be Randy Orton versus Lesnar at the Rumble.
WWE title match at WrestleMania since 2008 when it had involved Triple H and John Cena. The match with Triple H the next year after that one.
That was meh. But the way the feud.
The Wyatt family thing, where he faced Bray Wyatt for the WWE title. How was that one? Oh, yeah, that one sucked. That's why they didn't want to benefit Riddle in the whole thing. They don't know.
The only reason that sucked is because the wrong person won. Bray Wyatt should have won that match.
The match itself sucked.
The match sucked too, but honestly, it would have made more sense for Bray Wyatt to win.
Orton should have won the belt. Granted, that's it.
He should have won the belt.
Yes, he did.
Bray Wyatt was like the highest thing at the time.
He was.
And they cooled down his momentum by having Randy Orton beat him. And he only kept on the title for a month.
If they would have had him defend the belt more, I would have been convinced otherwise to have Orton.
He only held it for a month.
Yeah, defend it a little bit more. Defend it at that.
He defended it like twice in that month.
Okay, yeah, twice in that month.
And you know how wrestlers,
that's it.
For titles, you have to defend it at least once within 30 days.
Here's the best part about the whole thing. They wait till the end of the before WrestleMania that week.
Oh, I may even suck even more. Bray Wyatt never even got a rematch for it.
The belt. Yeah, technically he did. Yeah, that's right. That's true. But they had him wait till a month later before Mania to defend the belt against Luke Harper. They could have done a show on Fastlane for it or done a March pay-per-view. Instead, they did one chamber pay-per-view where he won the damn thing, defended the next night, wait till way before WrestleMania, 5 days before the pay-per-view, defend against Luke Harper. Here's my question. Why did you just add Luke Harper to the match and have Bray?
They should have done that. They should have made a triple threat.
And have Randy Orton take the pin. But instead, you made Randy Orton, who won the Rumble, was already on a hot streak as it was probably a little bit more hotter than Bray Wyatt was. No offense to Bray Wyatt. And at that point...
No, Bray Wyatt was hot. Actually, no.
No, he really wasn't.
Honestly, after that in terms of his title reign, they were like a year too late.
It wasn't even that. The fact of the matter is, you didn't have enough quality matches. All you had to guy do was either cut promos or have Randy Orton turn to his dark side. Randy Orton was the hottest thing because he faced AJ Styles in a qualifying to get back to that WrestleMania challenge for that title. That's all it was.
Just the booking was completely crap.
The booking was. There's no question about it. But here's the thing, though. That's why Brock ended up winning the Rumble. Because they don't trust Randy Orton in title matches anymore. If it was a multi-man match,
yes, they do.
Not really. They really don't trust him. Think about it. Every match he's had is crashed and burned. The only match that was really great for him was back in 2008 during his Legend Killer days. That's it. I rest my case in that match. And I know
honestly, he did have a few good matches recently.
He did. In my opinion, on this showing here for this match, for that Royal Rumble match itself, it was a disappointing Royal Rumble
crap.
Match. It was pretty bad.
Like I told him, like the best thing about that pay-per-view was honestly the women's Royal match.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey coming back was surprising.
Yeah.
I honestly did not see it coming.
And she came back on Raw the other night, and she confronted.
And another highlight was Mickie James entering the Rumble as the Impact Knockouts champion.
Yeah, that was already planned. That was already going to happen. That was already in the books.
Yeah, but it's nice because, like, for the first time in a while, WWE gave exposure to another company. Positive exposure.
It's true. That is true. 100%.
They let her come with the belt and everything. I'm like, yo, yes.
Yeah, it was. Oh.
But, like, other than that, the Rumble pay-per-view was complete crap.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably the worst Rumble pay-per-view I ever saw.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And at this point, there's, I don't know, there's no other way of looking at it. That Royal Rumble pay-per-view was pretty bad. WrestleMania will probably.
And honestly, I should take back the thing about the 30-day policy about titles, because Shinsuke Nakamura is the current Intercontinental Champion, which honestly I completely forgot, and he hasn't defended that belt in months.
Yeah.
And honestly, what's up with WWE Shinsuke Nakamura? His U.S. title run, he barely defended it.
You want to know what?
And with the IC,
Vince McMahon doesn't know what the hell's going on with his company at the time. He's too busy making deals to better the company, but he doesn't actually know what goes on in his own company.
Like, honestly, the best champion right now, besides Roman Reigns, is probably Damian Priest.
He doesn't even watch NXT half the time or the developmental show. He never watched either one of them. And he doesn't
until he rebranded under his own.
He barely watches Raw anymore. He doesn't bother writing for it anymore. Doesn't even bother confronting the team anymore. He doesn't bother with it.
The only thing he does, Triple H needs to take over right now.
Well, he's got a heart condition, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And you want to know something right now?
Shane McMahon, they just fired his ass.
I've been hearing rumors right now about Nick Khan taking more control over it. With Jeff Bezos.
Nick Khan's somewhat in control right now.
Yep, with Jeff Bezos. And there's a possibility where, because apparently they're good friends with The Rock.
Let The Rock take over the company. Like, Jesus Christ.
That's what they're planning on doing. They're trying to transition Vince McMahon out and have The Rock take over the company.
I feel like The Rock will do a good job. He sees value in young talent.
I think so.
He sees value in everyone in the world.
I think so. I can see that. I think it'd be a much better fit. I think Triple H would have done a much better job, I think, personally.
Look what he did in NXT. Great job.
Exactly. That's why I look at The Rock. I think to myself,
if Triple H does recover from his current health problems,
is he more a suit and tie guy kind of thing, or is he more of a guy that wants to get things done himself and actually go in the ring and compete? I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like The Rock would compete like once in a while,
right?
But not like.
But what I'm saying,
he wouldn't force himself down.
Is he more of a corporate person or more of an entertainer? And I look at that and I say to myself,
he's definitely more of an entertainer.
Exactly.
He's definitely more of an entertainer.
Triple H is more of the corporate person now. He can take over the role. He's done the role before.
But he can also entertain if he can
entertain. Yeah, but not as good as The Rock. Not as good as The Rock.
And if he does come in, he'll probably put over younger talent.
Yeah, exactly. He would. So we talked about. So you managed to. I did get my Royal Rumble stuff review already beforehand. He's just given his review, so I just got off the phone with it. I just had another call. Yeah. So I apologize for stepping away there for a minute there. Mm-hmm. Unlike this guy over here who just stepped away for no reason, just walked away, didn't even know what he was doing.
I was looking for a fishing rod.
I don't have any. I don't fish.
Well, go get one.
I'm just trying to make a point about the Seattle Kraken. That's it.
I like fish, though.
That's all I was doing.
It's good for you.
Really all I was doing. Anyway.
Next
topic. I can't think of anything else. I think, baseball lockout's still going on. There's been a possible rumor about spring training not being in the mix right now. In fact, they're nowhere close to baseball talk. So, baseball fans, I hate to clue you. We might not even get a baseball season. It sucks. I know, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. Let me see. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think AEW's on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We got John Moxley going 1-1 against the Brian Kendrick. Yes, the Brian Kendrick is actually in AEW. Yes, that's true.
Yeah. MJF versus CM Punk.
Yep. The title match is not till 2 weeks from now, or a week from so, I think, now at this point. Yep. Texas Death Match between Archer and Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't even know if there's anything else going on tonight, these shows. I can't think of anything.
Me neither.
Other than those two matches. Because I usually get their social media page, and they tell me about like 8 or 9 matches that might happen on the show. Although I do know Pac and
Malachi and Brody King versus
I think it was somebody else. I'm trying to think. It wasn't Phoenix. It was Penta. That's what
Penta. Yeah.
So that's that.
Phoenix is injured.
That's happening. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on.
Nothing else to say. Freak Angels.
Yeah. Anyway, Can't think of anything else right now that we can talk about here on the show. We might just end the show here. I mean, there's no really we did cover a lot here. We talked about why Mahomes chokes a lot when it comes down to it because he's overconfident. You know, we did talk about that. We talked about Flores today. We talked a little Patriots stuff. We talked a little Bruins stuff.
Hockey, recruitments, basketball, all that.
Oh, we didn't get college basketball. That's what I wanted to get into. UConn lost yesterday to Creighton, 59-55 yesterday.
No!
Yeah, as well as Auburn, the one ranked team in the country, getting their win yesterday, 181. Let's see what else happened yesterday as far as upset goes. LSU lost at home to Ole Miss. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else happened. I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think of what else happened in college basketball yesterday that was, I guess you could say major. Not really major, but we had Providence beating St. John's yesterday, 86-82. Shout out to PC. Congratulations on your excellent year so far. You're 19-2. Think about that. You're 19-2. Should be right now ahead of Villanova, but somehow Villanova's still ahead of you. What the hell's going on here? Anyway.
Like I said, I don't understand college basketball rankings.
I don't get it either.
They could be undefeated. They could be unranked. Like what?
It's a lot of weirdness going on. It's a lot of weirdness, especially with this whole story. Anyway, with that, but PC again, awesome season so far. They beat St. John's yesterday, 86-82. Let's see.
The recruiter who danced with Brian Kelly committed to Alabama over LSU.
What was it? Oh, that happened a few days ago, I think.
And now he committed today.
Oh, just today?
To Alabama over LSU after he did that.
Oh, I thought he did that. Oh, wow.
I was like, wow.
That's amazing.
How you dance for an old dude, but go somewhere else? Disrespect.
Well, it's kind of creepy. I'm not going to lie. I mean,
and then again, he's a 3-star recruit, so he isn't that big name.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he thought Nick Saban would be a better coach. He doesn't know it. And think about it, really. LSU.
Let's be real. Nick Saban is the best coach.
Yeah, it is.
In college football history.
Brian Kelly is going to have a tough challenge with this because he should have gotten Caleb Williams. You would have had a chance.
And that's real. Caleb Williams is always going to stick with Lincoln Riley.
Because right now, the quarterback selection around LSU down there, yikes.
Or they can get someone invincible. Did they recruit anyone?
Quarterback-wise?
Yeah.
No, I think
all they got is Miles Brennan.
Exactly. Yeah. That guy sucks.
Yeah.
He's not that great. He's trash. But back to college basketball for a second. LSU lost last night, 25th ranked. Another college football basketball upset. UConn was 17th ranked. They lost yesterday. Just mentioned that. Not really a lot of other upsets, really. Well, Michigan State barely escaped Maryland. Michigan State yesterday with 65-63 win. Well, we might as well do some college basketball pick'ems tonight. We'll tell you. This will be the new thing going on because I know we only do these shows like once every 2 days, really.
I'm starting watching more college basketball.
What? You don't watch college basketball? How do you not watch college basketball?
I mean, sometimes I forget to because I do other stuff.
You need to start doing that more. Anyway, you need to start doing more.
There's a lot of interesting shows on Netflix.
Well, it's Netflix. They'll be on there waiting for you.
All of us are dead. Pretty good.
They're not going to delete them. Anyway.
No, I want to.
They're not going to be deleted, so don't worry about it. So we're going to do some.
Actually, they do delete some things.
We're not going to do. Well, we're going to do some picks, but we're going to do most of these picks right now. We're going to start off with the nightcap right now. It's probably the biggest game of the night.
No.
Number 12th ranked Villanova taking on Marquette. 24th ranked Villanova 16-5. Marquette is 15-7.
Listen, Villanova.
I'm going to go with Marquette here. I think Marquette's going to pull off the upset.
Are you on crack?
Marquette's at home. Pretty good team. They're getting better now at this point. They're starting to get a little noticed here. They came out and they killed PC a few weeks back. They scored 30 on them. They barely lost a PC in PC. They only lost by 2 points. They're still
PC in PC.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I think Marquette can pull off the upset. I don't think Villanova's been that convincing. I really got to be honest. I mean, right now, I don't even know how they're even ahead of PC in the ranking.
Because college rankings are stupid.
I know they are, but I think Villanova's gonna have a tough time in this. I think just based off on the I think Marquette's got a more stacked roster. I think that Villanova does. I think Villanova's got Colin Gillespie they rely on too much, and I think Justin Lewis and the rest of that team. It'll be a lot of fun. I think Marquette wins. Marquette with the upset. Number 11, Wisconsin taking on number 18, Illinois. Illinois is 7-point favorites. I don't know how the hell they're favored at home, but I guess they are. As number 11, Wisconsin. I guess why not? You know what? I'm going to go with the upset dog here again. I'm going to keep the upset going right now. I'm going with the Illinois fighting the line. I can't say that name for the life of me.
Illinois Fighting Irish. Wait, Fighting
No,
Irish.
Not
What?
Fighting Irish. No, it's the Fighting
The Fighting-
Illini, I think it is.
The Fighting Illinois.
I think it's that name. I think it's that.
The Illinois Fighters. I'm just calling them that.
Yeah, the Fighters. Yeah, but I'm going with the Illinois upset here. I'm going with Illinois win. If they're favored, why not?
Hmm.
I haven't really been tuned into Illinois basketball. I will admit this, but we're gonna try to do these picks more often, and we'll submit you the picks. I'll submit the picks on Facebook. I'll say whether or not I was right and he was wrong. If he was a big loser, I'm a big winner. If I'm a big loser, he won. I don't know.
I'm the winner.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But who are you picking? Who are you picking? 'Cause I got Illinois winning.
I'm gonna say Wisconsin.
You know Wisconsin?
Mhm.
All right, cool.
Listen, I gotta watch more college basketball
yeah.
in order to like fully understand.
Tulane and Houston Cougars. So Houston is 6th ranked right now. Taking on Tulane, who's 9-9. Houston is 17-point favorites. Obviously, I'm going to go with Houston. Houston by a blowout. There's nowhere close to this. Butler taking on Xavier tonight. Xavier 11-point favorites. I'm going to go with Xavier. Xavier 21st ranked. Butler, see it by. You're not.
Listen, Xavier.
Exactly.
Yes.
Kentucky had a big upset over the past week against Kansas. They played tonight against Vanderbilt. Kentucky is 17-4. Vanderbilt is 11-9. Kentucky's 14.5-point favorites. I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Kentucky.
And this one big. Kentucky big. He's going with Kentucky too.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 ranked Purdue will be taking on Minnesota. I got to be honest here. I think Purdue is going to get a reality check.
Upset?
I'm saying upset in Minnesota. It's perfect here. Purdue's an 11-point favorite here. I think we're going to see.
No, I'm gonna say upset too.
You guys say upset too? You're going to go with Minnesota?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going with an upset here. So far we haven't disagreed on one pick. Although you did pick Wisconsin over Illinois. Shame on you.
Shame on you for being ashamed.
Yeah. Anyway, I hate the Badgers, by the way. Anyway,
I love Badgers. They're good animals.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, but you get the point. Purdue. I got Minnesota over Purdue here. Big upset of the week, I think. That'll be a lot of fun. So we're just going to do those picks for today. We're not going to do every single pick for Thursday. We'll recap it if we get a chance to. We probably won't have a chance to.
Yeah.
But we'll try to recap it. But yeah, we'll do our picks. We'll submit you the picks. We'll ask you guys who you got. You probably won't even respond because you probably don't. I mean, some of you probably do watch sports. Some of you don't.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to cover a little bit other than sports next week if we can. We'll talk about some economic stuff, technology, maybe music.
No.
Yeah, we'll probably be focusing on music. Probably mostly music. We'll probably be doing music, pop stars, news, stuff like that.
I'm gonna give love.
Probably some sports.
No.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we got this just came into my phone just now. This is just as reported as of right now. Tom Brady is retiring. Obviously, we already know that, and he may decide to return to the Patriots to do so. Well, this is actually I thought this is actually more breaking news, but we already knew he's.
We already knew that. Yeah. I mean, where else will he retire?
But here's my.
Remember the Steelers?
But actually, here's another thing. Here's another way of looking at this right now. In your opinion, right now, is Brady suited as more as analysis, or do you think he would be better off as a GM in the NFL? In your opinion, I say GM in the NFL, but what do you think?
I feel like you could do both.
You can be analysis and the GM at the same time.
Analysis. You can analyze the game. He's played the game for over 20 plus years.
No, but what I'm saying is be a commentator in a football game and a GM a team all at the same time. You know how hard it is to do both? I say he does one. Look, don't get me wrong. I like seeing.
No, I mean like he's capable to do both. Not like he'll do both at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm saying just choose one here in this case here. Would he be better off just doing one? Or would he be like
if he was to do what the heck?
First?
I say, which one you think he's
gonna do
most likely to do first?
Yeah,
I say GM.
Yeah, I say GM too. I think he's a good. I think he'd be a good GM. Be one hell of a story. You know, it'd be really interesting, just for the hell of it, just for lasting news right now. What if he decided to GM the Patriots? Now I know they left it in bad terms, but what if he decided to go back to where it all began and take over the Patriot GM position? And yes, this is after Bill Belichick retires. This is after if Bill ever does retire. Who the hell knows? But I think he returns as a GM. I think he returns as a GM right now. And I don't know if Bill, because I can't see Bill reaching out for help just for that. I don't. But I think I can see Kraft selling the team someday, Bill retiring, Kraft and Bill walk out. And I think Peyton Manning purchases it. And I think there's a business partner with him and Tom Brady. I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
They are friends off the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see that happening. He agrees with me, so he knows that. But yeah, other than that, yeah, we got nothing else to talk about. This is a long one.
Right.
Actually, I thought it was gonna be a little bit longer than I normally would be because we had a lot to get into. We had a lot to digest today.
Mm-hmm.
We covered a lot of college basketball stuff, NBA stuff. Or did we cover? No, we didn't cover it. Did we cover the NBA today?
We'll do that another day.
Well, no, we didn't. That's right. All right,
We'll do it another day.
We'll have one more thing. We'll do one more thing. We got to do the Nets and the Suns.
Listen,
And why the Suns right now, in my opinion, if they win the next 32 games, because right now they're 41-9, are going to go to the NBA Finals.
they're not going to win 32 games in a row.
I'm going to tell you right
They're
now.
not going to win 32 games in a row.
They're already won 11 straight. What's stopping them? The Jazz.
What's the longest winning streak in NBA history?
In NBA history.
Wait, it was the Warriors. Like
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Warriors, or wasn't
it was like 28 games in a row, 27, 28.
Was it Miami? Didn't Miami do that too with LeBron? And
That was like 23 or 22 or something.
No, that was like 26. Wasn't it 26 for Miami?
I'm
Something
checking
right
real
but anyway,
quick.
we'll do this quick topic here. In my opinion, here's my case. I don't realistically think that's going to happen
Which
either.
team has the longest win streak?
But if
in
it
NBA
was
history?
to happen, let's say hypothetically, the Suns go 73-9 and they win the next 32 games, because I think it's doable.
Oh wait, it's the Lakers. Wow,
What was their longest? Their longest was like.
they won an NBA record 33 straight games. In
That's what I figured.
1971
I knew it was
and
either
72.
32 or 33. I couldn't remember. What year was that? What year was that streak?
1971 to
Oh, wow.
1972.
Wow, that was a long time ago. Wow. But anyway, I think that was a year of streaks. Wasn't that the year where the Dolphins went undefeated and had a perfect season that year, 71-72? Yeah, there you go. They had a year for streaks. But here's my prediction right now for the Phoenix Suns, because they cruised over the Brooklyn Nets last night. They played James Harden last night and the Kyrie Irving part-time special, because he was part-time once again and he's not allowed to play anywhere else, which is stupid.
No,
But-
it's completely stupid.
I mean, it is. It's 100% stupid. But anyway, but last night I watched this game, and the first thing that or I should say this morning, I didn't watch it last night because I had some TV problems last night. But I watched the game this morning, and the first thing that popped in my head was the Suns are for real. They're 41-9. They've won 11 straight games, and no one's stopping them. If the Brooklyn Nets last night, with James Harden and Kyrie Irving, couldn't stop them, I don't even think even KD would have been in this game. Would have never made a difference. This team, Kyrie Irving last night was 26 points, 10 for 20, 3 for 4 free throw shooting at the free throw line last night. You know how many threes they jacked up last night? They had 6. They were 16 for 40 last night for 3. Harden had 20. Irving had 26 points. Harden had 22 points. Harden wasn't bad in the 3-point shooting. He was 3 for 8 last night, just like Kyrie was. Patty Mills was 3 for 8. Edwards was 3 for 7. Blake Griffin was 2 for 6 last night off the bench. He had 17 points in the game. I would say last night the Suns really last night the difference in this game was last night was that Bridge was going more into paint. He was 10 for 14, had 40 minutes in there, 27 points. Ayton was 5 for 7, 12 points, 6 rebounds. Chris Paul, 14 assists, 20 points. I said it completely backwards. 20 points, 14 assists. Sorry. Devin Booker had 35 points with 6 rebounds, 2 assists. It was all about getting in the paint last night, and shooting around inside the perimeter instead of outside the perimeter. So that was the story now, getting inside the area of the paint. They were driving right to the hoop last night. Suns were 11 for 31. The Nets were 16 for 40. If the Nets can do better in a 3-point shooting game and still lose by 10 to the Phoenix Suns, this Phoenix Sun team is dangerous. You got Devin Booker, Ayton, and Chris Paul. That's your big 3. Actually, no. I should say I should probably call the 4 horsemen of this one. Call Bridges, Ayton, Paul, and Booker as your 4 horsemen on this Phoenix Suns team. This team is dynamite, and I can see this team right now on a 32-game winning streak. I don't know what you see them at, but I can see this happening coming from a mile away.
They're not going to win 32 games in a row.
You don't think they are?
No.
So you think? So how many wins? How many wins before the streak comes to an end? In your opinion?
I say 20.
You say 20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They play at the Atlanta Hawks tomorrow night. That's a win. They play the Wizards the next couple of days later. That's a win. They play the Chicago Bulls. That's a win. Sorry, Bull fans. I know the Bulls are number 1 in the Eastern Conference. They're not for real. I truly don't know if this is going to happen, but I have a really funny feeling it's going to. They play at Philadelphia. I say they win that one. They play at home against the Bucks at home. That's a win. Magic at home. That's a win. Rockets at home. That's a win. All-Star break, they're fine.
That's a win.
That's a win, the All-Star break. Exactly. They got a huge break. Come back at home to face the Pelicans. That's a win as far as I'm concerned. Go to March.
That's a win.
Trailblazers, win. The Knicks at home, win. At Milwaukee, win. At Orlando, win. At Miami, win. At home against the Lakers, win. Raptors at one point, win. The Rockets at Houston, win. Chicago at home, win. The Kings at Sacramento, win. At Denver, win. Home against the 76ers, win. At the Timberwolves, win. At the Warriors, win. I can go on and on and on with this. I can see the streak coming.
Win.
It's gonna be hard to slow down that team. The Splash Brothers might not be enough to beat the Suns. I'm telling you this right now. And I had the Warriors going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
But if this streak continues,
win.
I just can't see it.
Win.
I just can't see anybody slowing that team down. I really can't.
Win.
Anyway, April at Memphis,
Win.
win. Home against the Lakers again,
Win.
win. Well, they played the Thunder beforehand, obviously. That's a win,
Win.
too. They have the Clippers right in LA. Win. The Jazz at Utah.
Win.
Last game of the year against the Sacramento Kings.
Win.
That right there is a 73-9 record, and it can be done.
Win.
It can be done. I think it can be.
Win.
Memphis, I don't know is for real or not. They're kind of getting there.
Win.
If you look at Utah right now, they got a lot of issues, I think. I thought they'd be a little bit better than what their record says it is right now. They're 30-21. That kind of surprises me. They're only 9 games above 500. At this point, I look at the Golden State Warriors right now. Klay Thompson and the Splash Brothers routine, like it's getting there.
Win.
But I don't think it's gonna be good enough to beat this Phoenix Sun team. I don't think it is. I think they've met their match finally.
Win.
You know, as close as Klay Thompson is right now, getting back in full-time form, playing 35, 40 minutes a game. Because right now he's averaging about 26 to 28 minutes a game. I just can't see it. Now, what do you see, man? Because you're not agreeing with a 73-9 record. What are you seeing?
Win. You know, the NBA is unpredictable.
It is.
As long as they stay healthy, they can definitely achieve that.
Oh, I think they can, the Suns. Yeah, there's no question about it. What do you see the record going at right now? Like, if you had to go by the losses right now, where are these losses going to go into here? Because I'm thinking, because right now they already won 11 straight right now. You add another 32 games to that. That's a 43-game winning streak.
Let's say they probably end up. How many losses do they have right now? 9?
They have 11 straight wins.
I mean, how many losses do they have right now?
They have 9 losses.
I say they end with at least 14 losses.
All right, I can see that. I can see 68-14. That'd be their record.
This is a different Suns team than it was the past decade.
A lot different. And it'd be a lot tougher to stop that team going forward.
All Devin Booker needed was like a real leader and a point guard.
Exactly.
Got Chris Paul. First year, went to the finals.
Yeah. I think, and to me, I can see
if they make it to the finals this year, they're winning it.
I think so. And I just can't see Chris Paul repeating history once again being victimized by the
Chris Paul's going to get a ring.
I just can't see it. If they go on this streak,
victimized and conquered.
If let's say this right now, I'm going to say this right now, be realistic here right now, because I think the streak might be a little questionable. I think it could happen. I'm not saying it
can happen. Will it happen? No.
But if it doesn't happen, if I had to say right now, if the streak comes to a close here, if I had to say how many losses they would have, I'd say 11 losses.
11?
Yeah.
Not bad.
I'd say they go 71-11. I just can't see anybody. The Milwaukee Bucks could be a tough opponent for them. The Brooklyn Nets could be a tough opponent for them. But you got to remember something. You're facing a COVID-19 woke Brooklyn Net team who's got so many problems with Kyrie Irving and Harden. Harden ready to go to strip clubs. Durant can't stay healthy.
I don't blame him.
Kyrie Irving is only part-time. You got Blake Griffin, who doesn't even know what his role is on his freaking team is anymore. Nobody knows.
And Blake Griffin isn't the Blake Griffin we've known.
Exactly. He's
old
now. He's past his.
He's basically a sixth man right now.
He's close to being past his prime. Let's put it that way. He's close to passing his prime.
I'll say he is past his prime. What is he averaging, like 7 points per game?
I don't think he is. But I don't think it's even that. It's not even the case of him. Like
he's not a star anymore. He's on the Brooklyn Nets playing a bench role.
But what I'm saying is, here's my opinion here. You trade him if he's not averaging enough points for you. And I think the reason that is because he's not getting a lot of minutes in the games anyways.
I mean, what's the point?
Like, this is the most
he's averaging
last night.
He's averaging 18 minutes a game this season. He's averaging only 6 points.
How many minutes he's averaging in the game?
18.
18? He played 27 minutes last night. 27 minutes last night. He was 6 for 10 last night, 2 for 6 for 3, had 6 rebounds.
But there's some games where he's not even playing.
Yeah, I don't think he's playing. I think you're pointing out the games where he didn't play it. But
I mean, I'm talking about his entire average in the season. He's averaging 18 minutes a game in the season.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
Like Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin.
Jesus.
Blake Griffin is not the same player that he was.
Well, he showed it last.
His last great year was 2018 in Detroit.
27 minutes last night. Well, here's his problem. Detroit shortened his lifespan a little bit. I mean,
but he still was like pretty good.
It's the Pistons. They sucked.
But he was pretty good there.
Only one playoff appearance there with Blake Griffin, and he got swept.
Yeah.
I mean that.
But I mean, like Blake Griffin's not like the main superstar that he used to be.
No, I know, and he's not the main superstar here, but he should be part of something on this team. And especially after last night, I'm looking at the starting.
Let's see. You got Blake Griffin. You got Kyrie.
Yeah.
You got KD.
Yeah. I think Blake Griffin's a good number 4.
You got Harden.
Wait.
You already got 3 dominant ball players on that team.
KD, Harden, and Irving, right?
KD. That's 3 dominant ball players right there.
You need a 4th one right there. You have a power forward right there. You need a power forward.
I mean, there's only so much that can happen.
Because Durant's more like small forward. You got Harden's your shooting guard. You got point guard. You need a because right now on this right here, you got Claxton.
And they got DeAndre Jordan.
19 minutes last night, 3 for 6. He was 6 points last night. Whoop-de-doo. Put Blake Griffin back in the game. What are you doing? This bench last night is trash, too, if you ask me. Bembry? Who the hell is Bembry? Think about that for a minute. He had 20 minutes last night.
Hey,
Great. He was good. He was good. He's getting there. He's building his stuff up. 7 points last night. Okay. If you can only do 7 points in 20 minutes of action last night, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. Blake Griffin just gave you the greatest 27 minutes he's had all season with 17 points and 6 rebounds last night. He's almost past his prime. But this Brooklyn Nets team, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know, I don't believe they're meeting this team again this season. I believe they actually won a team series. I could be wrong.
All right, and Brooklyn gonna make the finals now.
No. They'll be like once again come up short. In fact, because right now they're the 6th seed right now in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
The highest they're going to go to right now, they're going to leapfrog Milwaukee.
Like what, 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to leapfrog Milwaukee. I think Miami's too good right now. I think Philadelphia's too good right now. Chicago's just a 1-seeded team that's going to
right now. I say
Embiid
is probably the MVP.
Yeah. I think right now at this point, the first Brooklyn gets. I think Brooklyn this year. If you want my honest opinion about Brooklyn, they're 1 and done.
1 and done.
They're 1 and done. They're 1 and done. They're in the playoffs the first round to face the Milwaukee Bucks. They lose in 7 games. The exact same thing happens last year. Only this time around, it's Kyrie who cost them the game, who cost them the series. Coughs up, chokes up, and says, "You know what? I'm done. I'm peacing out. I'm calling retirement. Bye, bye." And I hope he does, because Kyrie Irving, to me, if you ask me, is a crybaby. And I don't even get. And I don't think this part-time stuff is even his fault. I don't think it is. But he is such a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
He is such a distraction. I'm so sick of seeing him on my television screen. I really am. KD at this point, I don't think he even cares where he goes after this or not, if he even stays. Because there's no way if Kyrie leaves and KD is staying with James Harden by himself. Mm-hmm. It's not going to
James Harden might be gone after the season.
Exactly. Harden might be gone. KD, is he going to do it by himself in Brooklyn? No, because it's never going to happen. He's not going to win a championship by himself.
Never.
It's not going to happen. He needed the Splash Brothers to help win a championship. Think about that for a minute. If he's going to do it by himself.
He joined the Splash Brothers to win a championship.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said he needed them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. He needed them. So he didn't do it on his own. He walked there and he took the investment and just went for the ride. Mm-hmm. Got you do it here in Brooklyn. How did that work out for you? Maybe 1 and done in the playoffs. That's great. Fantastic, guys. Congratulations. Look, Steve Nash looked like Jason Kidd as a coach. Pretty bad. Anyway, so we're done with that. So we covered everything. We covered all our bases now. We are all covered. Thank God. So that is the show. You can subscribe. Please subscribe to our show. The many subscribers.
Comment.
Comment on the show. If you have any sports thoughts, give us some thoughts. If you have any thoughts on the show, we want to talk about the next time.
Debate with us.
Debate with us. If you want to do a Zoom call through YouTube, you can do that too. We'll do a.
Want to go in a wrestling ring? I got you. I got wrestling down the street. Anyways,
if you have any questions about about some sports stuff, if you don't know, I might give you the answer to it because believe me, my brain's a sports encyclopedia. This guy over here, well, you know what? Sometimes it's sports encyclopedia, sometimes it's something else.
And mostly football and basketball.
It's
So.
mostly football and basketball. But
And
but
wrestling.
I can give you the answers to any question you need in sports.
Yes.
Any.
Mhm.
So again, follow me on Instagram, Joseph_Edward_Olivo. Facebook, Joseph Olivo. And the Snapchat, J Olivo Sports 123. But I never use that thing, right?
You all know
I'll
mine.
start
So
using it.
yeah.
Then I'll start using it again, maybe. I don't know.
It'll all be in the description.
And we'll all be in the description.
Mhm.
You know the drill with his social
You
media.
know.
MJ Smitty97.
2 plus 2 is 5.
Facebook.
Mhm.
What's your Snapchat? I don't even know what your
MIKE_ROLLA 97.
Amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I am signing off. We're signing off. It is 4:13.
Mm-hmm.
By the time you listen to this anyway, it'll probably be past that. Even that, you're probably listening to it right now. Probably not.
Now I'm gonna go pump some iron.
I'm gonna go work out too.
Mhm.
And after that, have a nice juicy hamburger. Okay, I'm signing
Why
off.
would you eat a hamburger after a workout?
I don't know, man.
Is it a vegan hamburger at least?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not really into vegan burgers, really.
No, I'm not a vegan either, so.
Yeah.
Heck, we'll probably talk about being a vegan in one
Yeah.
episode.
Hey, if anybody's out there's a vegan, you might have a vegan episode. It's pretty upcoming pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to do this podcast. Will be going through SoundCloud as well and through Spotify pretty soon.
Mhm.
We're just going to figure out that stuff out. Although it's pretty easy to do with SoundCloud. Spotify, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm Joseph Olivo.
Mike Smith.
Goodbye. See you Saturday.
And good night.